looks like this all the plywood sheets, if not all of it, to be honest. Yes, sir. You guys are looking for a parts list. This is all the stuff I got. The 2x4x8s, the studs basically. I ordered 100 because if you order 100, they give you a percentage off. And I think I needed like 85 or something like that. It just made sense to go ahead and get the few extras just in case they sent me like some work pieces. So that's pretty much the thought process on that. And here's that. I'll update you guys later on as the video goes as I figure out what I do and don't need. There's a couple things, just a few items I've ordered like 1 or 2 extra pieces of. It went pretty well. It only took me about an hour, maybe a little bit more, running back and forth getting tools. And honestly, these are the 4 tools I did it with: my little sawzall, my hammer, and pry bar, and then a crowbar. Yeah, I think all this is actually from Harbor Freight. This is where we are right now. So you might be able to see more of what I'm trying to do. So I'm not gonna have any adjacent pieces on the ends. I just kind of put those there to give me an idea of like how square the setup is. So I laid out the 3 going this way, and we're gonna have these other 2 pieces. They essentially just like right in the middle of these. I just eyeballed it for now because those blocks are a bit wider than what I need them to be. And so basically I'm gonna dig the hole a little bigger than it needs to be, put the gravel and the block in there, and then run those all just like this basically. Yeah, we're mostly level for the most part. I checked my levelness like this way the other day, and that looks pretty good. And oh yeah, the stakes are right here because I'm gonna obviously move the 4x4s once I start digging. So this will give me an idea of like where I'm gonna dig it at. So I'm honestly just winging this part. I'm gonna move the 4x4s, and I'm gonna see where my holes are for the stakes, and then get my little cylinder blocks and just basically center it like right above it, and then just like dig around that basically. This is my future helper. Say hi. I'm not paying no attention. an update where we at. So we're mostly level with the skid portion of it. And the way I'm going about leveling it is, so I pretty much eyeballed most of the ground with leveling it. And of course I got my 2x4 and I put my level on top of that. And I kind of just like ran it across the ground to see where like my high spots were. And I kind of dug most of those out. And as I've been going, so essentially, so start with one corner, get that about how you want it. And then make sure it's level with the other end of it. And once that's level, go to your next one, and then you're gonna make sure that it's level this way between the two, and you want it level this way between the two. And that's gonna either be higher or lower than either, and so you have to either add gravel or take it away, and then essentially make it level this way, and then that way itself. You want itself to be level, and it's basically gonna be the same height. So these are like all sitting flat. Like these first three, they're like perfectly level now without having to perfectly level the ground. I saw videos of people doing it, but it didn't necessarily make sense. So just start with one, make sure, just get that to the height or eyeball it. So basically what I did was I went to the far side, because you don't want this to be a major difference from here, because then you're just gonna be sloping it as you go to get them level. So kind of get a piece that can run from one end to the other and see how level that is. And you want to get that ballpark, and once that's ballpark level, then at that point, then do what I just said. So make sure this piece is level, then level this way, then same thing, just keep transferring it. And now I'm on this next to last piece, and so I'm a little bit too high on both pieces. It's sitting higher than this piece, but it's pretty much level itself, but I need it to be level with this piece here, so that way it's not sitting lower, so that way the floor actually rests on it. So hope that makes sense. I'm gonna get back to the time lapse and just keep going. You ready to go in? All right, I'll give y'all an update video on the next day. This one's ready to go in the house. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. There you go. So I got all my 2x6s set up. These are pressure treated 2x6s, same as the 4x4s. And then everything else above that would just be regular lumber. So I got my air hose and everything set up, and I will be using this Banks air gun, air nailer, whatever you call it. This is the 21 degree, and I'm running the 3-inch screws or nails that come with it, or that Harbor Freight sells. All right, I got all the pieces cut for the joist. Now I'm about to make sure all the faces for the 4x4s here, make sure these are all basically lined up the same, and same with the back. And then I'm going to measure diagonally across the 4x4s to make sure it's square. You want the same exact measurement from corner to corner. Sorry, my other phone is kind of busted. So this is the schematics I'm running. I found it for another 10x10 shed, but this is like a gable style or whatever. But for the most part, it's about the same. I will share a link to this as well, or I'll just create my own for this whole shed, whichever is easier. So I'm gonna go ahead, while these pieces are up, I'm gonna get my end pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and mark the spot for the joist where they're gonna sit. And so it's going to be 12 inches off from the edge, and then it's going to be every 16 inches, and then the other end is also going to be 12 inches off. I'm checking is I'm just putting my tape measure right on the edge here. This one's actually at like 170 and a half almost. You want it to be at 170. Yeah, it's like barely 170 and a half. So it's barely out of square. So I could try shifting it a little bit. I'm not gonna play with it tonight. So I'm gonna try shifting it a little bit tomorrow to get it perfect, because you gotta think about it. Anything else you're building on top of that, you're gonna be building walls and stuff. And the last thing you want is your walls to not be square or anything. Oh, there it is. So, but it's looking good so far, and my beams are pretty close to where I want everything to be. Yeah, hopefully after this everything start going a lot quicker, since I have my air holes and miter saw, all the power tools set up. I just got it about as square as I can get it. Like I move one side, the other side moves, but like one side was originally about 3 inches out of square, but now I got them within an inch of each other, so I'm just gonna run it there. The only issues you really run into with it is when you start to put on the plywood and everything, you may have to trim off some edges in case it is shifted over one way. We see if that happens. Like an inch isn't that much. I mean, I guess it's enough to throw something out of square, but I'm not sure what the margin of error is for. I was looking it up online. There's a bunch of different opinions on what people are actually saying. So the consensus was basically like, if it's like a home shed, it should be fine being like an inch or so out of square. So I got as close as I can. They're about an inch within each other. All right, quick shout out to Lowe's. That's where I order all my lumber and supplies from. Everything has been pretty straight. One of my main concerns was having stuff that was like warped or not flat, and the only thing I found so far is this piece of siding. It's pretty warped. This is like the worst of anything, but I think that should be fine once I throw some. All right, so this is where we are now. Trying to see, hopefully I have enough of these pieces. All right, so excuse all the mud on the floors. So show you guys how to make a more complex cut. So first you want to figure out the orientation of your piece. Lay it out and draw the orientation. So I drew a corner here to know that that's essentially how I'm going to cut the piece here. Because this part has the open part for the groove, and that part's going to get cut off anyway, so it's going to be flush with the edge. And the measurement was 25, and it's like one hash mark behind like half or 3/4 or something like that. I'm not about to be writing 15 16s and all this other stuff. I'll just write 25 minus 1. So basically 25 inches minus 1 line. So just go back 1 line from 25 on my tape measure. So make sure you're doing this for your tape measure. And I renovated our whole bathroom using this method. Oh yeah, here's the piece I was talking about before, how this part needed to be a little bit less. It has a little bit of overhang compared to this side, which is like almost perfectly flush. So if you're that anal about getting things like flush and perfect, then this is how you do it. And so yeah, so 27 3/4 is what I got from that edge to this one. So 27 3/4, and I went from that edge to the end there, and that one was 27 7/8. So basically just do your measurement there, 27 7/8 and 27 3/4, and then get you a straight edge, draw, connect the lines, and that's pretty much it. So piece isn't completely square, but it's gonna fit in there almost perfectly if I can cut it good enough. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the cuts, pop it in there, and this will be the last piece for today. Okay, if I actually knew how to use a circular saw, then this would be perfectly flush. As you can see, I missed my line here, and it's sticking out a little bit. Yeah, I missed the line all the way to here. Yeah, this is the tool I probably suck with the most, but if you can cut better than me, then you'll get a better result. But essentially, that's how you make your measurements and get that piece. Yeah, so this is my remaining pieces of plywood. I have like this huge piece here. I was scared that it wasn't all gonna fit, so I think you have to do it the way I did it I think you have to do it the way I did it in order to make 4 sheets work. You could probably get it done a bit easier if it needs to be done this way. I did 12 inches from the edge for my on center for the first joist, and everything else was 16 inches off of that one. So I think if I were to do this again in the future, if that 12 incher needs to be there, I'll get like maybe an extra joist or 2 and do the 12-inch one, and then bring it out 16, or maybe just bring that first one out maybe like 8 inches and then go 16, and then go 16 16 16, and I think that should add up to 96 once you get to 8 feet. And because yeah, 96 inches is 8 feet, so you want that to land like almost right on it, at least on center, so that way you don't need to cut off all these overhangs. So it'll be less cutting as well too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because you just have to cut it off of one side instead of having to cut both sides, if that makes sense. I'll try to draw a diagram and make that make more sense. My first time ever doing anything like this, so I'm learning. But yeah, it's looking good. Floor feels pretty stable. Gonna do some jumps or something on it, see how it feels, and I'll drive the rest of the screws in it later. But as of right now, this should be good. So yeah.